5 wrong ways to communicate in marriage. People have different communication styles. We have the passive aggressive, we have, a lot of them. But what I've seen counseling married couples and singles is the fact that a lot of people communicate badly. And see, to everything you do, you say, you act, the way you react and respond, you're communicating, and that's why we have verbal and non-verbal communication. So to a lot of you, you think it's only when you talk that you're saying something. No, communication is beyond what you have said or what you're saying. It transcends to your action, your gesticulation, the rolling of your eyes, and all those things. So those are non-verbal. While when you say something out orally is your verbal communication. Now, number one wrong way to communicate is assuming. Assumption is saying something. We have people, they are not opening their mouth to talk, but they have picked something from what their partner or their spouse has done. And so you're assuming. Assumption is a wrong way to communicate in mind. The moment you assume, you make something from your head that is not. Now, your spouse said something, because you didn't ask them questions for clarity, you pick up something from your head and then you feel that is what it is. And you have formed an opinion that will destroy your marriage. So assumption is a wrong way to communicate. Assumption leads to frustration in marriage. Why? When you assume, you tend to believe what is not. At that point, it is your head, your mind is, trying to tell you things that are not even there, things that didn't happen, things that will never happen, things that has never happened, things that will never be. You believe those things. That is something saying something to you. So please never assume. Number 2, stonewalling. We have people who, whenever they're communicating, they feel probably where the situation is going, they don't like it. The next thing is a shutdown. They just shut out of the communication. They might even leave their partner wondering what is happening. Stonewalling is a wrong way of communicating in marriage. When you stonewall, that is silent treatment. That is emotional abuse. And that is you saying to your spouse, you don't want my time. If they're worth your time, you would sit with them and make your point of view known. So please never stonewall. Number 3, shouting is a wrong way of communicating. What? Is your house on fire? God forbid. The only time you're permitted to shout in your marriage is when the house is on fire. So you're shouting, calling on the firefighters to come and, help you calm the situation. But if you're speaking with your spouse, you should speak as mature minds, as adults. You don't shout. You talk calmly. Make your opinions known. Let them know what you feel, how you feel, and why you feel the way you feel. The moment you're shouting, you're not saying anything. Because when you're shouting, it shows you are angry. And at that point, aggression, a lot of things can come in. So please never shout when you're talking. Number 4 way not to communicate in your marriage. And I see people do this a lot of time. Comparison is another way of communicating. You might say, what she's saying? Yes, it's because of what I've seen. These are things people hardly talk about. There are times you're saying something to your spouse, not because you want that thing, but because you have seen it with somebody or from somewhere or from a particular couple, and you want the same thing. So you now start comparing your marriage to that other people's marriage. You start comparing your spouse to another person. Comparison is a wrong way of communication. And you know what comparison will do? Now you're talking to your spouse. That one is loud. Very, very loud. You're not talking and then you're saying, even my friend's husband just did. Even my friend's wife just did. I even saw a neighbor. They brought in this. And then your spouse is wondering, where is this coming from? Your voice at that point, your communication style at that point is coming from your comparison, because at that point you have a scale on which you're weighing your marriage. You have a scale on which you're weighing your spouse. And the moment you're comparing your marriage to another people's marriage, or you're comparing your spouse to another person, what you're doing is that you won't be appreciative. You won't appreciate anything. You will even make a mess of every beautiful thing you've achieved in your marriage. Because comparison is a killer of joy. Maybe you have been celebrating something beautiful. You've been happy with your spouse. You've been okay, we have this. You're going well. You're doing well. The moment comparison sets in, You make, I mean, you see those things as if they don't matter, as if they are nothing. You don't see them as anything again. And now to the number 5 thing, the final one I want to talk about. I mean, the wrong way you can communicate in your marriage. That one, I know it will be funny to a lot of you because I know some of you don't see these things as a communication style. They are. And that's why we're here to open your eyes. And now the last one is keeping a record of offenses. A lot of you, the way you communicate is because you have one jotter, or some of you, even your hearts. The record in your heart is more than anything. And so when you're talking from the abundance of the old record that you have not burnt, that you have not forgotten. And when you're doing that, your partner will not make sense. When your spouse talk, they are just saying gibberish. They don't make sense to you. When they are saying anything, it's nothing to you. And so at that point, you talk with aggression. You talk, from resentment. You talk from a place of anger. And when you're doing that, it destroys beautiful things in your marriage. So I'm telling you, these 5 wrong ways must stop immediately. Now, if you know and you're sincere with yourself that you find it terribly hard to communicate in your marriage, you might want to get our book, The Building Blocks of a Blissful Marriage. We wrote over 20 principles of communication that leads to confluence. Because when you're communicating, what it should lead to should be confluence. Both of you meeting at a center, understanding yourself and not misconstruing each other. So you want to get this book. It's an ebook. You can read it at any time and on any device.